I'm gonna write out my ideas that I already have because I do have some idea of what I want to do here. I really do want to, like, I think that's something that, well, not necessarily that I struggle with, but it's something very important when you're making, like, a comic or story. You want the characters to look distinct from each other. You don't want people to mix them up. No, I'm not really interested in making, like, a crazy dynamic pose right now, because I just want to figure out what she looks like. Oh, I don't know what kind of ears she should have. Maybe she should just have normal round ears instead of elf ears. Or maybe she should have elf ears. Decisions, decisions. I want her to look kind of nice. I don't think this butterfly girl looks evil, but... well, at least not this version of her, but... she kind of is evil. And I think I want her hair to be light. I'll give her some nice eyelashes. Light eyelashes. Okay, now for the first pass at the outfit. There's plenty of references. I want the neckline to be straight, I already know that. And it goes out at the back. See, with this butterfly girl, I just recently added this little tutu thing up here because I was kind of worried that the cage and this, like, would look too similar, so I wanted to differentiate that a bit. Instead of giving up and redoing my idea for her, I changed something on the other one. This needs to be higher, I think. I don't know if this is gonna look right. This may be difficult. Now, drawing flowy sleeves is like my worst nightmare, but I'm gonna power through. I don't know why I keep making characters with flowy sleeves. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. But it looks good. I know what to do with the back, I don't know what to do with the front. Like the bangs situation, I guess. Kind of cute. Should probably make the brush smaller. I just want to make sure it shows up and doesn't look crazy pixelated. I never use the bucket tool because my lines just don't connect. Like here I wasn't trying to do super polished line work, but even when I try, like it never connects. Because I think my strokes are very, I guess, loose. I don't know. It feels like the time freaking flies whenever I try doing this. Not streaming, I mean, like, character designing. Or drawing in general, actually. It's like how so much time passed and I barely have anything done. Yeah, but are you having fun? Yes, I am having fun. Time flies when you're having fun! Okay. There we go. She looks like a banana that's being peeled. Now kind of looks like her shirt is just wet. Oh, whatever. Snails are kind of moist anyway. That is so gross. I don't know. She seems like she's blending together a bit too much. Although, I don't want her to have like crazy amounts of contrast because she's got kind of a mild personality. Yeah, this is like all one color basically. All one shade, I mean. I could try green hair, I don't know if this is gonna look good. You know what? Against all odds, I actually do like that. I tried finding... Okay, I don't know how they would even make this, but I tried finding a time-lapse of how like a snail shell grows.
And I found a diagram that was very vague, but I saw like... So you know how a tree has growth rings that tell you how old it is when you cut it open? So apparently a snail has growth rings too on its shell, but they're like this. So the middle of the shell, I think when it's small, like this is a small snail, and then when it grows out like this. So the middle of the shell is like just what the shell used to be when it was little, until it gets to be this big. So this like part of the shell is this baby shell. I think that's how it works.
I don't know if I need to include that on her though because she's immortal, so... Okay, dandelions. Dandelion, dandelion. And I'll do a white one too. A puffy white one. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Did it look like this? Let me just do the... That looks like a snowflake. No, that's not what I want. I was thinking of having like the sleeves be full of like flowers like this. Like an upside down bouquet, but then her hand is in the middle. But I don't know if I'm gonna do that. That might get annoying to draw. Okay, these characters are for a comic that I'm making. So it's kind of like I have to choose very carefully what kind of torment I'm gonna inflict on my future self when I make this super detailed. Like, she's already bad enough, but then if I make her super, super detailed and really annoying to draw over and over, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. It's a fine line between making them look boring and making them look interesting and making them impossible to recreate like consistently. It's hard. Maybe I should give her white pupils. That's kind of dewdrop looking. I used to do that. That used to be like a staple of my art style when I was like 12 years old. I'm getting flashbacks right now. I don't know if I should give her like lipstick or something. Well, obviously this girl has dark lipstick, but I won't make it too dark. Maybe I'll make it green. That could look interesting. It's kind of cute. I really wasn't expecting to use as much green as I am. I think I'm done with this girl for now. Something really needs to be done about this dress, though, I can tell you that. There are a couple of things I wanted to change. The first thing I changed was the hair. I took away that really big swirly bang in the front and just kind of gave her some edges. I gave her a big dewdrop earring, and this is just me redrawing what I've already drawn, because what I wanted to do was kind of change the outfit. I was not happy with that outfit, so I was redoing the sleeves, changing the proportions a little bit. Oh yeah, the shell, I made the shell way bigger on the second draft because it really wasn't working what I was trying to go for. I gave her little horns like a snail's eye stalks, and I actually took away her eyeballs that are on her face. So yeah, and I made her skin white, like porcelain. You'll see why. I wanted to look more like porcelain. And kind of a darker, like yellow spot on her face, like kind of like a Siamese cat or something. That's what it reminds me of. Like a dark point or whatever they call it on cat coats. And then I drew cracks on her skin because my original idea was to have a snail whose shell was cracked. And I didn't do that on stream because, I don't know, it seems very angsty, which it is, but didn't want to go into all that. But it's that Japanese technique thing of repairing porcelain where they pour gold in the cracks. I'll put that on screen now because I don't know if
Kintsugi.
I'm saying it right. Kintsugi? I think it's called kintsugi or something like that.
Kintsugi.
And here I was redrawing her pearl necklace with the tooth. I was looking at cameo necklaces, which are really cool, but instead of a portrait, it was a tooth. That's for lore reasons, but no spoilers. I was kind of stuck on the corset. I didn't really know what I was gonna do with it, but then I started drawing the dandelions instead of in her hair on the corset, which I thought that looked pretty nice. So I did different stages of the flower, like the yellow petals, the fluffy white, you know, the dead version that disperses the seeds. And then I did some of the buds that like weren't opened. So then I did the layers of the skirt, which I really should have looked at a reference first, because the Victorian skirts that I was trying to copy, they bunch up the fabric in different places, like hanging curtains, I guess. And I really just made it look like a bunch of sheets on top of each other. It wasn't working. It looked nice, but it didn't really look like the type of dress that I was trying to go for. I was gonna put ginkgo leaves in between the layers, but somehow it didn't look right. I ended up scrapping that. You'll see me delete them. Then I went in with dandelion, more dandelion flowers, so at the bottom, like dandelion seeds, the white puffy things. And I put it in like descending layers of the life cycle, I guess. So at the top there was buds, at the second layer there was just the normal flowers, and then at the bottom there was the seeds. And you can see on her hips, like around her hips, I did a bunch of those big leaves. But my sister said they look like holly leaves when I did them, which is true. So dandelion leaves are too hard, so I ended up taking those away and replacing them with little bows, which I think looks better. Some kind of satiny bows. I wasn't sure of the color at first. Yeah, so this was my second pass, but then I started getting annoyed at the dress not looking how I wanted it to, so I went back and redid the dress. And I actually looked at reference images this time. I had a huge Pinterest board full of a bunch, and I didn't look at them well enough, I guess. So, there. I could have saved myself a lot of work if I had actually analyzed it properly instead of just looking at the general shape. But yeah. So I wasn't changing much really with this, like in terms of the color scheme. And I did want to keep the dandelion like seed stuffing, I guess. Stuffing is not the right word, you know what I mean, the stuff at the bottom. I wanted to keep that because I liked that, and I kept the little unopened bud tassels, and I added some little bows, some little other streamers, like hanging down. And you know what? I really... Oh, here we go. Yeah, I did every single line. I added some dewdrops at the end too. So it's not simplified at all for a comic. I think I'm just gonna draw her from the waist up. Maybe I don't know, I'll cheat somehow, but I really like her. I like how she turned out. And I hope you do too. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.